I'm going to take you through the abdominal series from the Pilates mat work, and I'm going to present a couple of modifications this time through so that you are focused on some of the fundamental stuff before going to the full steam version that's on the other video. We start with single leg stretch. I want you to begin by going into an imprint. So we're going to curl your hips towards your ribs so your low back feels a little bit flatter. And then I want you to lift one leg and then the other up into tabletop position. Now let's just sense out the choreography of the leg work. You're going to start alternating, reaching one leg out straight and then the other. And begin slow so you have time to focus on how the muscles of your abdomen have to adjust to the weight of your legs reaching out. The breathing is timed, so you're inhaling while you're switching legs and exhaling as that leg reaches the full extension. And that lets you get the most compressive force and contraction through the obliques. Do one more on each side and then tuck both knees in. Now, that's ab work for sure, but now let's intensify it a little bit by adding your upper body flexing forward. If that's not good for your neck, leave your head down and we'll do some more the way we just did. Otherwise, you're going to curl up your head and shoulders, look right at your thighs, and when you reach your leg out, you're just going to pose your hands on the other knee. Inhale as you start to switch legs, exhale to catch. Inhale and exhale, inhale and exhale. So we're just going to keep going back and forth, just gently receiving that leg as you pull it in and reach. You've got 3, 3, 2, 2, one more, and then come back in. All right, lower your head down and then return your feet to the mat. Now we also use that leg pattern in obliques. So now you've learned that. You could try that in the other video. What I'd like to focus on in obliques is what goes on with your upper body. So let's put your hands behind your head. And we're going to actually break this up into 3 sets. So in the first set, I want you to do something I don't normally have you do, which is open your elbows pretty wide. We're going to pivot off of one of your elbows to make the oblique rotation so you can figure out the angle that we're shooting for. We can be back in a neutral pelvis unless an imprint is better for your posture, and just keep that the whole time. Okay, when you exhale, you're going to pivot onto one of your elbows as you rotate and flex, lifting your other elbow and shoulder blade off the mat, and then inhale to lay back down. Now we're going to switch sides. So we're going to rotate, pivoting onto that elbow and then back down. The sense that I want you to create is that 2 motions are happening at once. You're flexing and you're rotating, so the angle of pull is kind of like how a seatbelt rides across your body. I'm trying to pull shoulder and rib cage towards the opposite hip. Okay, come back to the center. Now, I want to create that same sensation, but this time maintaining my head being lifted. So just flex forward into an ab prep, nod your chin, curl up your head and shoulders. Now, when I rotate to the side, I'm going to turn, but I'm still trying to go a little more forward. So as I twist, I'm trying to bring that opposite side shoulder blade off the mat. So I still have that diagonal pull, and then come to the center. Rotate to the other side, and then center. So this gets a lot smaller, but also more intense because the head going down on that last version was like a break, right? And then we had to recreate the work. So now I'm trying to sustain the abdominal contraction as I go through the middle and just bring that relationship of the left and right side to create the rotation. Now check in on your hips. They should not be moving. So root your feet into the ground. Make sure the hips stay heavy. One more to each side. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, come on back down. All right, last version we're going to play with today. We're going to take your legs off the ground. Let's bring you back into an imprint, and the whole motion will end up getting smaller because you have less support to create stability. Rock into imprint, lift up one leg at a time to tabletop. All right, you're going to curl up your head and shoulders again. One more breath in, and then when you exhale, rotate again to start small. See if you get that diagonal feel. Inhale back to center. Now, if I'm thinking about aiming, I could talk about my gaze. I'm looking to the side of my leg every time I go into a rotation. I can imagine bringing my elbow towards that knees, but I don't want the elbow to move independently. It's getting brought to the knees based on the twist of my torso. 4 more times. Exhale, twist. Center, and 3, 2, and 1 more time. Let's take it back to the center. Drop your head back down. All right, let's bring your feet down just for a reset. The next exercise is called double leg stretch. We're going to go back to bring those legs in and out, but now twice the weight. So we really want to stay connected with using the breath to hold imprint. Your arms can come back down by your sides. Rock into that imprint and lift up one leg and then the other. This is another one that if your neck doesn't love it, you could just leave your head down and just do arms and legs. All right, push your hands on your knees, drop your chin, curl up your upper body, and stare at your legs. Take just one more breath in. When you exhale, reach both legs out straight as you take your arms back by your ears, and then inhale to circle your arms and catch your legs. Exhale, compress your abs, reach your arms and legs away from each other. Inhale, circle and catch. Every time you reach your arms and legs apart, you want to curl up higher so we maintain the flexion. And with your arms, rather than just swinging them back, pretend you're grabbing a hat, lifting it up off your head. Okay, so it's not totally back towards the wall. It's towards where the wall meets the ceiling. 3 more times. Exhale out. Inhale, tuck. 2. In. 1 more time. And inhale, tuck. Let's let your head back down. Release your feet back down. Last exercise in this series is called scissors. We got to recreate that imprint one more time. So let's take an exhale breath, draw the hips and ribs together, and lift up one leg at a time. Now, scissor, as you can imagine from the action of a scissor, implies a reciprocal motion with your legs again, and we get a nice hamstring stretch. Curl up your head and shoulders one more time. Reach your legs up to the ceiling. If you're really tight, your knees can stay bent like a little crooked scissor. Okay, when you exhale, you're going to lower one leg and gently draw the other leg towards you to make the scissor. Now your legs are going to pass at the midpoint of the movement and exhale scissor. Inhale and exhale. And just play with that rhythm. Now, one thing that could be challenging, people that are tight in the front of their hips, sometimes this exercise causes a little bit of a clunk right there when you're dropping the leg. So you want to get in the habit of squeezing your glute from behind. That's not something that happens automatically. Nothing about our relationship to this or gravity makes that happen. But if you do a manual squeeze, it'll train your glute to help and your hip flexor can relax. One more on each leg. And reach both legs up. Sorry, I said nothing else about that exercise. I hope that was helpful. Tuck your knees into your chest and drop your feet. All right, let's just stretch out the front of your hips before we're done. So arms by your sides, and we're going to do a hip roll. On your exhale, you're going to curl through that imprint that we've been working on. Roll your spine off the mat using your glutes and your hamstrings to lift up to a bridge. Stay here for a breath in, and then when you exhale, roll down through your spine, dropping one vertebra at a time. Inhale, come back to neutral. Exhale, start to curl your hips off, put a little pressure into your big toes. Reach your knees away from your shoulders as you lift. Hold there to breathe in, and then roll back down again. One more time, breath in at the bottom. Exhale, curl through imprint as you roll up. Try to enjoy that nice stretch through the front of your thighs. Hold there and inhale, and then exhale to roll back down. Dun-dun-dun.